Have you ever thought about trying to have something done for you in another country? Like you're in a business and you want to outsource a portion of that business that you're like, hey, this doesn't seem super fun to me. I'm going to pay somebody else to do that. But in the US, I don't want to pay this much. Well, you can get somebody that's probably much higher quality for a fraction of the price if you go abroad. So I'm going to talk about that. But first, if this is your first time here, what's good? My name is Sam, and for those of you who are returning, it's good to freaking see you. Okay, so I am in the process of creating a completely geographically free source of income, or actually many sources of income. You can check out that video back on the channel. Currently I have about 16. It says 14 in the title. You can watch the video and learn. But part of that process is just continually growing those 14 that I have, as well as stacking on another 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, right? And so as time goes on, right? A year ago, I had 2 sources of income. Now I have 14, right? And by this time next year, maybe it'll be 36, maybe it'll be 22. I have no idea. But the objective of when you're running a business is to serve the people that you're trying to serve the best way that you can serve them, right? I heard a awesome definition of capitalism from somebody because the media tends to love distorting what capitalism is, and in its essence, capitalism is I think this definition was very nicely put together. I don't remember who it was by, but I think it was thecapitalist.com, is people who choose to serve other people by providing more value in return for some type of money. People make decisions based upon the value they receive. If they receive $1 worth of value from this pen and I sell this pen for 50 cents, then people will buy it. The same thing goes with products and services. When something is more valuable to somebody than the money that they have in their hand, then and they find that value, then they will pay for that. And I thought that was a very nice way to actually encompass what capitalism is on a macro level. Because that's not the story you're going to hear from the media. That's not what actually takes place. And part of that is going through and making the best decisions you can possibly make to serve your audience. And one of the ways that I'm doing that is actually outsourcing this. So I'm in the process of writing a piece of a book or material that I can give out to people or have people download or pay for. I'm going to have them pay for it probably, but eventually maybe give it away. But I'm going to go through this whole process and show you exactly what I'm doing so that if you ever decide that that is something you want to do with your business, you're perfectly capable of doing it and you have a roadmap. You can follow these videos. You can jump over to Instagram, link down below, and ask me questions. I'm happy to help out. But the ability for somebody to get something accomplished abroad comes down to the tools are there. So it really comes down to the individual and them understanding what they're trying to accomplish. Who they're trying to serve, what is it? So if you have a certain portion of the business, I'll actually tell you the story of how I got into this and deciding that I wanted to put together some type of like ebook. I don't particularly want to write 50,000 words myself, but I do think it would be a valuable thing. I know that the material that I'm going to put in a book is going to be valuable. The idea is to present it so that the audience who's going to read it is going to get a tremendous amount of value. So I started with the outline. And every day you just make a tiny bit of progress. And it could just be you add 3 more words to it, right? And you try to create, if you look at the front of a book, I don't have a book in front of me, but you pull up a book, look at the outline, how they have it structured. But if you're interested in creating your own ebook, find a book that is similar or in the same neighborhood, industry area that you're looking in, look at how they format theirs, take a model of what they do, right? You don't need to copy it, just have an understanding of how they structure their layout, put that into a spreadsheet or into a Word document or something. Then the next day come back and be like, okay, I'm start changing shit. Start adding more, right? Start adding more. Refining it, defining what you're doing, giving it more clarity, more vivid understanding of the concepts you're trying to get across. And you just continue this process. And then when you're going to find somebody to outsource, the site I'm using is Fiverr and Upwork. And both of those, I'll put see if I can put a link down below for both of those. But it is relatively straightforward. And going through this process makes me realize that there's a lot of low-hanging fruit for value to be created to increase speed. If you were to look at whatever business that you're working on or side hustle and think about how you can increase the speed at which you're doing your business, right? To whether you're trying to grow it faster and you're like, I don't want to grow faster because of X or this or it's work or that thing, right? Well, what if you could take that thing and outsource it and you manage the process or system that you create and create something that you like so that it's easy to manage or lead whoever it is that you're working with so that they can give you exactly what you want, right? And that's the process I'm going through, and I'm learning a tremendous amount of how to articulate that. So I'm going to continue to use these platforms to outsource more work. The amount of savings that I would get from doing something domestically and paying somebody, say, 25 bucks an hour or 20 bucks an hour to write 50,000 words for me, if you figure that they could write, say, 3,000 words a minute at the peak, right? And I need 50,000 words, then that would be at the very bare minimum threshold, 17 hours, right? That's assuming that they didn't have to do any research or anything else. They could just get it done. They knew the topic right off the top of their head, and they could just talk to it for 17 hours straight. But so if you take 17 hours times 20 bucks, that's $340 for something like that. That's still very, very low, but you can get it a lot less if you just go internationally. And I'm actually working, I just got a bunch of, so you submit what you're going to be doing, right? I have the outline that's completely submitted. I took that to Upwork and to Fiverr. You submit that as a job. You have people bid on your job. I had 8 people say that they were interested. I go through and screen those, and I asked them 4 questions or 5 questions that they had to answer to at least give me some type of understanding if they even paid attention to what I was talking about, or a little bit more on the technical side to understand if they had any interest or desire in the field of what I was covering. And then started conversations with a bunch of them to see where their thought process was and how they were looking at things. So I narrowed that down from 8, quickly cut it almost in half, and then narrowed it down further. And I actually have a doctor in another country who was willing to do that. Right? And I just put the proposal together to be like, okay, I'm going to hire you after going back and forth for a couple of days on this topic. And I just wanted to give a quick update on that, as well as if you want to win a pair of these, tell you how you can win a pair of these. So if you go to, this is actually the AirPods from Apple. These are knockoff ones. I don't use them personally. My girlfriend does. They are about 45 bucks if you buy them in China. Probably come out of the same factory. So they're not actual AirPods. But if you want to enter to win these, jump over to the link in the description, scroll to the bottom, enter in your email. I will be announcing a winner on July 1st. So make sure you do that. If you guys have any questions, let me know down below in the comment section, or jump over to Instagram and say what's good. Appreciate you. Peace.